Okay, hang on. That was a weird way to start. Oh, okay. I don't know if that work. Oh. What? I don't want to start every sentence with the hair flip. It's awful. Hi, I'm Erin from Hello Tomorrow Films, and I am here to give you my top 7 tips for filming weddings. We've been shooting weddings for about 12 years now, and so we've learned a lot and made some mistakes. And I'm a firm believer in learning from other people's mistakes as much as possible instead of always making your own. So our gift to you is here, please learn from all of our past mistakes. Whether you're new to shooting weddings or you've done it a million times before, I feel like these tips will be helpful. So regardless, just watch this video. When you first arrive at a shoot, which is probably going to be at the bride's prep location or where the groom is getting ready, make sure you're super friendly and introduce yourself to everyone. Run up and say hi to the bride again, introduce yourself to her parents, all her girlfriends, the makeup artist, the photographer. If you are comfortable and confident, everyone else will be comfortable and confident as well. The alternative is if you just come in and you're creepy and quiet and don't say anything and haven't set up your huge camera, people will avoid you and run to another room and not be natural, and you will hate your footage. So be friendly. The wedding party and the family likely haven't done this as much as you have. So remember that you are the pro and you set the tone for the day. If you're comfortable and casual and friendly, they'll all forget that you're there and act exactly the way that you want them to so you can get the best shots. Coming back to the photographers, be friendly to them and be considerate of them. Chat with them about what they need and tell them what you need on the day. Generally speaking, if you're a friendly and kind and considerate person, people are more than willing to work with you so that you can both get what you need. And remember too that the couple hired both of you. They want their photos and their video to turn out the best they possibly can, so you're both equally as important. Hopefully the photographer doesn't think they're more important than you, and you shouldn't think you're more important than the photographer. So just work together, communicate well, and the day should run really smoothly starting from that moment. When shooting an important or specific moment, it can be really easy to get so caught up in that moment that you forget that you need variety in order to properly portray the scene. Future you will either thank you for making the editing job so much easier or curse you for making it so dang hard. To combat this, we usually try to remind ourselves wide, medium, tight. For example, when the bride's getting ready in the morning, you'd want to start off with a wide to establish the scene. There's everyone who's helping her. Then you'd want to jump to medium to bring the audience into the character, maybe of, say, the mom and the daughter that are getting ready together. And then you'd want to jump in on a tight so that you can bring the importance of that moment to the audience as well. That way, when you're editing, you have enough coverage to be able to be flexible in how you edit. Getting shots of important family or friends of the couple is something that you should pay attention to throughout the day. It can be super helpful to ask the couple about this ahead of time, but also on the day you can just use your eyeballs. Who's hanging out with the couple the most? Who's there when they're getting ready in the morning? Who's spending most of their time near them? Those people they'll likely want included in the films. There's nothing worse than getting an amazing shot of somebody on the dance floor having so much fun and they play a big part in the film, and then the couple gets and they're like, we love our film. We didn't really know that person. Please may you take them out. And you're like, no. So just keep your eyes open. When we first started, I was so terrified of missing some potentially important moment that I literally shot all day long. For that reason, the quality of my shots suffered and my creativity suffered, and McLean was not happy with me at the end of the night when he had to import all my footage and later edit it. Throughout the day, make sure to get all the shots that you need, but then allow yourself to be creative and explore after that. Focus on the story. Don't feel the need to get every single second or every piece of decor, etc. For example, at the bride prep, pretend the bride has already told you that moments of her interacting with like her parents and her friends are really important to her. So when you get there, make sure you focus on getting those shots right out the gate. Then once you know you have those shots, you can free yourself up to do some experimenting. There are times on a wedding day that are crazy important, i.e. basically the entire ceremony and all of the reception program. For these moments, you have to have a safety setup. For example, during the ceremony processional, people are moving. You are also moving. You're trying to be creative and get interesting angles and interesting shots. Your second shooter's moving. You need something that's stable that you know you can cut to if you need to. That way, when you edit later, especially if you're doing a long form film or a live doc, you will thank yourself because you always have something to cut to. It's also helpful at the ceremony or reception that between you and your other shooter, only one of you moves at a time. Mac and I always try to make eye contact to be like, I need to move, so you stay still, and the other person, vice versa. It's a fun thing we do. We've been married for a long time. You can never have too many backups, especially with audio. We always say that nothing takes you out of a story faster than poor audio. Dialogue is so important for us in putting together a story that we always make sure we have so many backups. Even if you think you have the best possible audio feed, do yourself a favor and set up a backup. Or 2 backups. 3 backups. Like we said, you can never have too many backups. This has saved us so many times. This is the number one thing I wish I had known when we first started shooting weddings. It can be so scary. You roll up to this crazy fancy hotel that you've never been in and clearly don't belong in. And then you find out you're working with an award-winning photographer who's super nice and talks to you like you've been doing this for a million years, but you have no idea what she's talking about. It's so scary. You think everybody's looking at you being like, that person's new. They've never done this before. They don't know what they're doing. But surprise, no one can tell. No one has any idea that you've never done this before or that you're very new at it. As long as you act confident, they'll think you're a complete professional. The more you do it, the more you'll realize that you do know what you're doing and you do belong there. As long as you're respectful and not coming across as a stubborn jerk, no one will know that you're terrified. Shooting weddings is really fun, and the wedding industry is really welcoming, and this is how we've met some of our closest friends. So that's it. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions or have any topics you want us to cover in a future video,
let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe.
No! Ah! Oh, bye!